The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Can you everybody hear me? If you can raise your hand, if you can hear me, that would be awesome. My computer is telling me that, yep, awesome. So you guys can hear me. Perfect. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday to everyone. I hope you're doing really well. Today we're going to go over the tools that you have for a listing and promoting your listing within IQ Office. And so it should really only take about 20 minutes, so it should be fairly short, but I will stay on the call to answer any questions. This is being recorded, so it is being recorded, and I do want to encourage you to ask questions throughout the webinar. I've got my little question window open so I can answer your questions as we go along. And if you're asking a question that I haven't gotten to yet, just know that I'm keeping track of your questions and I will answer them. This will also be posted on the YouTube and the Facebook channel after the webinar, so you are more than welcome to rewatch it, and I would really encourage you to do so. Training is only as good as the application of the training, so after today, I hope that you're scheduling some time next week to really go in and use the tools that I'm going to show you today. So as we start, we're going to start just from your main dashboard of IQ Office. And the first thing I want to talk about is connecting your contact with their listing. So connecting your seller with their listing. And that is really the first step in communicating and getting the seller a lot of really good information. And so to do that, you can actually go into your contacts. You can either click on contacts and leads here. Maybe you have them as a favorite contact, or maybe they're a recent activity, and you can actually go in and open up the edit screen. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to this listings tab. And when you click on this listings tab, you have the opportunity to add a listing. So there's a listing added here, but all you have to do is click the plus new, and then you scroll through your listings to add them. And you say, hey, I want to add this listing. Am I sure? And I say yes, and then it's been added. It's going to process. You can either choose to send a portal welcome email, or you can say, no, I don't want to send a welcome email. That's totally up to you. If you attach the wrong property to a client, all you have to do is check the box, and you can click delete here, or you can go over into the actions and click remove. So that is how you remove a property from a client. And that's really the first step in the tools that you have. The rest of the tools that you're going to find underneath your listings tab. And to get there, you can either go to listings and then to for sale listings, or you can go over and click the shortcut on your dashboard, and that's going to open up your main listing dashboard. I'm in a demo account, just a heads up. And so everything almost all the time works perfectly, right? Let's see if I can get there here. Okay. We're going to log into a different account just so that I can show you exactly what's happening. So we're going to go over and go to listings. And this is going to pull up all of your listings. So your listings are here for you to see. And what I really want to do is just go through the tools that are available. So if I go through and I click on this property, I actually then can go in and I can see everything about this page. So I can share the details page, I can share the showcase page, I can go in and I can rearrange the images. So if I don't like the way these images are laid out, I can actually just drag and drop and rearrange those images. At the bottom, after you do that, you do have to click save. And you can see that this is pulling from MLS. So it's pulling the MLS remarks from from MLS. It's pulling the description from MLS. It's all pulled from MLS. If you go in and you decide to change the description, it will no longer overwrite from MLS. And so if you have MLS rules that say something like you can't include the builder name in the description, then you also need to make sure that that's happening in MLS, but you can go in here and change it, and it will change the way it displays on the website. And underneath that is a place for the seller to put their story. So you can actually mark this story as active, and if the seller has a really neat story, perhaps they have something going into the holiday season about, I'm just sending in an issue with that demo site. And I can't type in and text on or talk at the same time. So if your seller has a really cool option for going in and holiday season and going out into the woods and cutting their own Christmas tree and what it was like to have holiday parties at their house or something like that, or maybe they have stories about sending their kid to school and the way that the air smells when the sun comes up over the ocean or over the mountains or wherever it is, wherever you are, those things that are really the emotional stories and are not the nitty-gritty of how the listing needs to be presented. The nitty-gritty are things like 2 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, great location, close to schools, those things, but it's more of an emotional pull. You can actually use this story to help promote your listing. And right from this main dashboard, you can also print or email a flyer. You can schedule an open house. You can save the listing. What I want to go into next, though, is the map. So you can actually go in and you can map your listing or change the location of the map. All you have to do is click and drag and drop the X point, and it will change that location. You also can attach a listings action plan, and this, I think, is the coolest part. So you have action plans for clients, right? Everybody knows you have an action plan for talking to your clients and following up with your prospective buyers and that side of things. But for every listing, you also have to think about the actions you have to do to complete that listing. So you can actually go into your tools and preferences and you can create an action plan that is specifically geared towards listings. And all you have to do that is click on action plans. You name it. Maybe it is a new listing resale. And you choose that it is a listings action plan. And then what you do is you click save. And once you've created that action plan, you can go in and you can actually add items. And it can be things like automatic system emails, follow-up requests, sending a survey, ordering your marketing items, sharing on social, adding the seller so that it automatically reminds you and does some of these things for you. So I can actually say, hey, I want to set up my showing preferences. And you can say, hey, this is due 1 day after it goes live or immediately after it goes live. When do you want it to be notified? The same day? Maybe you want to be notified 2 days before it's due. Most things same day works for most of us. We have enough on our plate for that day. And do you want this to be visible to the seller in the seller portal? Yes or no? And is it required? That means, can you snooze it or not? And then I click save. And then I can see on day 1, that's what happens. And I can go in and I can add a series of events here. So I can say, hey, I want an automatic email to go up that says your listing is live. And I've created some content that talks about your listing is live and this is what that means. And now people will be calling to set up showings and that. I can say, hey, I want this to be due 48 hours after it's live. So, and please excuse my spelling. I am a terrible speller. I have a lot of other skills in life. Spelling is not one of mine, and I am thoroughly glad that spell check has existed. So then you can also say, hey, this automatic system email, I want it to go out actually like 25 minutes after I add the person to the campaign, so it looks like it's not an automated email. And is this something that I want it to repeat? And who do I want it to send to? So I want to send this to the seller. I can type the content name or I can search for content here and I can say, hey, here's my content that I created And is this visible in the seller portal? And then click save. So that is how an action plan works. And you can actually go in and add an action plan here and choose your new listing action plan. And click save. And then all of those actions are going to be attached. So here are all those actions. If you decide that you do not want this to be attached, all you have to do is delete this. The other thing I want to show you is, look, the virtual tour. So if you already have these things attached to the listing, it's automatically going to complete those for you. Again, if you don't want that action plan to be done, you just click delete and say delete this action plan. Yes. And then once you go out and go back in, the action plan will be gone, but it will still show your completed actions. If you have a public file that you need to attach to your listing, so let's say you have a plot map, or you have a floor plan, or you want the property condition report to be visible to the public, you can actually upload a file here, and any file you upload to a listing is public on your website. And now we start to get into the 3 tabs that I think are really the most useful. The first one is the open houses. So this is where you can schedule your open houses and have them automatically feed out if your company is feeding out from IQ. So if you're using IQ to feed to Zillows and Trulias, then you can actually schedule your open houses in here and it automatically will be fed out. We're going to get into a little bit more of what that looks like and what the tools are for that open house promotion in just a minute. The other thing that you have the ability to do is you actually can go in and you can set all your showing information. So you can see here that the instructions are that the list agent needs to be present, and then the directions are for the agent that is showing. So the instructions are for the showing agent. The directions are for the showing agents. And then the notes are for you and any of your staff that you have to say, hey, this is the requirements for that showing setups. This is appointment only. It's a gated neighborhood. The list agent must be present. Call Greg at extension this. So you know what your notes are. You can then go in and you can create showing requests. You can type agent's name. You can put information in. You can choose if it's a showing or an inspection or a preview. Maybe it's an appraisal or final walkthrough. So this really helps you to continue to be organized in all of your showings. The next thing that you have is something called reports. And this reports tab is really, really slick because what it does is it creates information to be sent out to your seller on your behalf. And you can actually type in your seller name. And if they're not in your contacts, then you just hit add contacts. And all you have to do is add their first and last name and add a username and password because that's what actually creates their account. And then you click save. Oh, it has to have an email address. And I click save. And it's going to save me in there. And then I'm attached. Then you add your competition. So you can actually go through and you add all the competition of your listing. Is it golf course? Is it waterfront? Is it an acreage range? Is there a garage range? What does the competition look like? You also can choose by community name. So you can actually go in and say, hey, I need to choose by community, and this listing is in Black Rock. And I want to compare it to listings in that community. Maybe you want to choose by map. So you can actually go in and choose by map, and you can say, hey, I want to scroll in, and I really want to only focus on this area. Pretty slick, huh? Does anybody have any questions so far? You're a very quiet group this morning, and I want to make sure that I'm hitting everything that you want to hear. I am going to get into how to share it on social and a really cool new feature that is getting rolled out as we speak for all of you. So you can actually set that report. Then what you do is you go through and you say, I want to show all of these reports. So you check the boxes on the right-hand side of the reports you want to include. which is pretty slick. And I have to set some price parameters here so that we get good information. Let's say this 1 million to 3.5, and then you can actually preview this report if you like. So you can actually click the view button and it's going to pull up a preview of what that report looks like. And it's going to show your information as the listing agent. It's going to show the list price, the MLS. It's going to show the referrals. It's going to show all of the information. Search homes. Where is it coming from the search results? Where is the listing appearing in search results? How many listings are being viewed on the website for the last 4 weeks? What's the competition? Are there other listings that are listed that are like it that you have listed? And so this is a really slick report. The other really cool thing is you can say, hey, I want to send this just one time to my seller. I can also say I want to send it every week, every 2 weeks, or every 4 weeks. So in your listing appointment, you can say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know that it's important to get feedback, and I know that you want to know where your listing's being seen online. And what I can do is I can say that you're going to get a report every week from me that shows all this. The other thing that it does is it shows on your front end website. If I can type today, iqre.co. And so when your seller goes to log into their portal, I'm gonna let that, they actually get a dashboard of what it looks like. So I can see a snapshot of my listing, my home. I can see how many impressions, how many total views, what that looks like. I can see what's happened for showing activity. I can see views from site. All of this information is right here in that portal for me. So if they're getting an email once a week, but it's Tuesday and they don't get their email till Friday, or maybe it's Friday and they get their email on Monday and they want to see what happened during the week, they can just log in and get access to this information. It's here for them. I think this is awesome. I don't know if you think this is awesome, but everybody wants to know how people are finding them. And I think this part right here where it says views from sites, what is the refer? So is it coming from your company site? Is it coming from your personal site? Are they coming from Facebook or Instagram? That is awesome. So you know what traffic is hitting your site and hitting that listing for them, and it's transparent to the seller. The next thing we're going to go through just quickly is we are going to go through how to create flyers. So you can actually go in and go to My Saved Content or Print Content, and you can go to My Saved Content either place, and you can create flyers. So for this, I just am going to add content. And I'm going to say, hey, I want a property flyer just listed. And I can choose a template. And all I have to do is type in the MLS number. So I can type it in here, or I can scroll through. And it's going to automatically pull all the information for that flyer in for you, including photos. The other thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm dating my content, and I'm also adding a category name so I can scroll through things. If I don't like the flyers that are being shown, so I can say, hey, I love the kitchen, I love the view, but this house actually has a great back view. See how it highlights over the photo and I get a little pencil in the corner? I can actually edit that information. So I can actually then go to property images and I can scroll through all the property images that this property has. It will automatically frame the size that that photo needs to be, and I can click save and it will automatically insert it. I also can go in and say, hey, this is a great description, but I want some nitty-gritty information, or I want to edit this. I don't want it to say see associate for full detail associated docs. I can actually just delete that and push OK, and then it's done. I can go in, I can edit my information. I can edit the disclaimers, or I can edit my photos. I can say, hey, we actually need to put in a photo of me and not of that. of just a house. It's all customizable. And then at the top, you have an option to save and print, save an email, or just save the content. So you can save and print this. It will start the download in the bottom left-hand corner. You'll see it start to download. I'm probably blocking my pop-ups. There it goes. And now it's a PDF that I can easily just print off. I also can save an email. It's going to open that email screen for me right here. I can go in and I can say, hey, I need to choose, this needs to go to my past sellers that I just listed a property. And then I click send and it sends it out from me to them. And then I can click save. And if I want to re-reference this, I can. So here's what's coming soon that's really cool. You're going to start getting emails, and this is rolling out slowly company by company. So if you're not getting this, you need to ask your office administrator about it. And I believe it starts on Monday. You're going to start getting an email that says, congratulations, your name, your clients have chosen you to represent their property, and we want to kick off your marketing. And right from this email, you can view your listing. You can share it on Facebook, either the details page, the single listing website, or the showcase page. You can choose and print out, or you can print off your property flyer or customize it. And you can order your marketing materials right from here. So you say, hey, my options, I'm going to order my postcards or I'm going to customize my postcards. You're going to get this email. It's going to trigger as soon as your property is listed so that you know that you need to start promoting that listing. You also will know then that you need to contact your sellers and say, hey, your listing's live, which is super slick. And we're really, really excited about that feature. We think it's going to make your life as a listing agent way easier. If you want to order marketing material, you can do that. And you actually go into My Orders here and you create a whole order. So you create an order, and it's very similar to actually going in and creating a flyer. So you say, hey, just listed. I'm going to choose this just listed home. The minimum order for postcards is 100 postcards. And I can go ahead and I can select my property from MLS. It's going to automatically insert everything. Here it goes. It's going to insert it all in. If I don't like the photo that it's selected, I can go back in. I can choose the property image that I want. And again, anything that shows with a highlight you can change, including the text on the back. Once I click next, I'm going to be given my options for ordering these. Do I want to send them to contact types? Do I want to send them to my office because I'm going to handwrite them? Or maybe I want to do 150 targeted close to that address. Then I click next. I get an order summary. I submit my order. You're going to get a screen that says, hey, put in your credit card information here. And I can see all my pending orders on the right-hand side of the screen. So I can see I have one order pending. If you put in addresses and for some reason those addresses get rejected, it will show you're rejected. And once those marketing orders are completed, they'll show them under completed. So how do you choose a default flyer and a default postcard for this email that goes out? And really what the best part about this is you can go into your profile by clicking on your name and going to your profile and then to preferences. And you can say my default property flyer is this blue or this green flyer. And my just listed action plan for all my new listings that happen, I'm gonna set my plan. I'm gonna say my new listing actions required. If I have a reduction, the plan that I choose is this plan. For all my new leads that come in, I choose this plan. And my existing leads that are here, I want to assign to this plan. So you can actually have default things set that automatically happen for you to make your life easier. Underneath that, you also have the option to say, hey, I want to know about my new mailed items, yes or no. Do you want notifications? So those are all the tools that you have available to you for your listings. Really, really great way to go in and start promoting. You also can go into the quick links on your main page. So on my main listing page, I can actually go in and click on actions, and I can easily tweet, share on Facebook, share on Google Plus, Pinterest, or look at the website right here. I can say, hey, I just want to share this on my Facebook. It's going to pull up that information right from here. I can say, hey, I want to share it on my business page. And I can say post to Facebook. So you don't have to go in and copy and delete things. You don't have to go in and search for it on your website. It just makes it really, really easy to go in and share on social, create flyers, create open houses, and that side of things. Super great. I do want to ask a quick question. Do any of you know how the open house sign-in page looks, or should I go through that as well? I'm going to guess, since no one's responding, that you don't know. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Karen. So when you have an open house, oh, yay, you are paying attention. So when you have an open house, after you schedule that open house, you can actually go into listings and then go down to the open house page. And this is going to show all the open houses that your office has. And I think this is super slick. So I've scheduled my open house, or I can schedule an open house from here. And then once I've scheduled it, I can actually say, so if I go in, I say, hey, open house at this location. It's going to be held by me, Kelsey Fulton, and it's going to be held on Saturday, and I'm going to be there from 10 until 2 because that's when it's light out up here in the north right now. And I can say finish, perfect, and then I can actually scroll down and see here's my open house. It's always going to show the listing agent, but from my open house here, I can easily edit it. I can print a file, I can email the agent, or I can go to what's called a sign-in page. And this is so cool. So this is a way to have people sign into your open house without having to have a piece of paper. People are super weary lately to give out their information. They don't want their information to be sitting out there for anyone and everyone to see. So you can say, hey, if you want more information about the house, if you could sign in, that'd be great. It's a confidential system. I'm going to get access to your information. If you don't want to be contacted, just put that in the comments. So then you can type your name and your email address and your phone number. And I choose, say, I'm just not looking to move. Please don't, please have an agent. Their name is XYZ Realtor. I would encourage you that if people say they have an agent, to put the name of their real estate agent in there so that you can do some follow-up and some really do some follow-up with the other agent and make sure that you're validating that that person also has an agent. Everybody should know their agent's name if they're working with an agent. Then they don't just say they're working with an agent. Then I click sign in. So how cool is this? Now I'm finished. And I can say, hey, text this property to me or email this property to me or finish. So I can actually say, text this property to me. And maybe I want to email it to me too. And then I can say finished, and it will take you back to your sign-in page. So what I want to do is I want to go in. I'm going to read the text message that it sends. It says, thank you for stopping by the open house today. Click this link to view the details of the property. And then I can actually see a preview of the property on my cell phone. So these go to the agent who is hosting the open house. This is super slick. It's a great way to go in and capture information. And it is really a cool tool. You do need to have internet access to do this. So you should have a hotspot going on your phone for this, or if you have a mobile portable hotspot that you carry with you. But I think this is super professional. It looks good. It has the information about the property. It talks about signing in. You're not exposing people to any risk because they're sharing information. It's just a really, really good tool. How many of you actually knew that that was available to you? How many of you are excited? Oh, Bob did. Good job, Bob. How many of you are excited to use this feature this weekend? Isn't it cool? I think it's so, so cool. Yay. So that is all the information that I have from you, for all of you. So I am totally open for questions right now. It does not need to be questions about listings. I have blocked out till about 11 o'clock in the morning for you all. However, I also want to be respectful of your time. So if you have someplace to be and someplace to contact your some work to do, I totally understand that. And you can go ahead and leave, but I am open for your questions here. And I've got about 30 minutes to answer questions. You're welcome, Tom. Cynthia, it's a great tool. And this is the thing. A system is only, and I tell this and say this in all the classes I teach. A system is only as good as how you're using it. So since there are so many of you staying on the calls, and I think sometimes it's hard to know what to ask. And know that there's no such thing as a stupid question. I don't believe in stupid questions, but where do you even start? So if you're new to the system, this is a lot of information. And so I want to make sure you know where to start. And this is what I would be doing. I would be going to my calendar. And I would be looking at my calendar and saying, I'm going to pull up my calendar right now. And I would be going in and I would be saying, okay, Tuesday's not a very busy day for me right now. So I'm going to say I'm going to do IQ action plans for listings on Tuesday morning from 9 to 9:30. And I'm going to actually go in and I'm going to do this. I'm going to repeat this I'm going to do it custom, and I'm going to say repeat on Tuesday every 2 weeks. So every other week I'm going to do this for a half hour, and I want to end this after 4 weeks. And now my calendar is going to save that on there. So here it is, IQ action plans for half hour. And then I'm going to say, okay, Wednesday morning, I've got a sales meeting. Thursday, I know I've got some time here, so I'm going to do some client CRM in IQ. And I'm going to do that for an hour, and I'm going to schedule that out. So really going through your calendar and scheduling times to do this so that you have it on your calendar. If you don't have it on your calendar, you won't go in and do it, and you've just wasted 32 minutes of your life. Technology is only as good as the people that are using it. Yeah, I agree, Harriet. So Harriet just said there's so many features you don't know where to start. That is so true. And you start small. So you start with a half hour a couple times a week, and you do some in listings and you do some in customers. You ask a lot of questions and you just take your time. William, I'm going to come to your question in just a second. The other thing I want to just mention to you is everybody gets frustrated with technology. It's just a matter of when you get frustrated. The only people who are not frustrated with technology are the people who are not using it. And so know that if you're frustrated, the best thing to do is to walk away for a little while and then come back. The question is, what is the difference between the details page and the showcase page when posting to Facebook? So if you are sharing your listing on Facebook, you can share any of those links and they're going to show your links. I'm going to just log in here again. They're going to show your website. However, if you are sharing someone else's listing in your company that you have permission to sell or to share, you're going to want to go in and you're going to want to share that single listing website. And what I would do to see the differences is you can actually open up each individual website. So this is an example of the website, the details page. It just shows the information. The showcase page is going to show really a showcase of the listing in a really nice wide format. And that single listing website is going to be branded. So see at the top where it says 305 North Spokane Street. So this is going to be branded to the actual listing. You want to go in and make sure that you know what you're sharing and spend some time going in and digging through it. William, does that answer your question? It's going to show just a different layout. Other questions for me? You all are so good. I could keep going on and on and on. Do you want me to keep diving into some more topics? Do you want, is there a way to test what, Harriet? So, I'm going to come back to your question, Harriet. There is a question that says, how can the neighborhood page be made? And Carl, you have a couple ways to do this. One, your office administrator can go in and they can actually go in and they can create a community page. The other way that you can do this is you can go in and I can say, hey, I want to focus. This is super down the rabbit hole, so Harriet, know that I have not forgotten about you. I'm going to go in, I'm going to log into my website, okay? And I'm going to actually create a page. So I can actually go in then and say, hey, I want to create a page, new page, a dynamic page, and I can actually create an areas page, Carl. So I can create my own page for that neighborhood. And then the other question is, how do I go in without actually updating and emailing clients? So this is what I do in my business. I add myself first. I send it all to myself first. I know what it looks like. I set up a property watch for myself. I send up an email campaign and send it to myself. I send a listing report to myself. I put myself in first, and I test it all on myself or on my husband, because my husband's going to tell me exactly what works and doesn't. And even though we are in that millennial generation, he just updated his phone from like the S4 to a Google phone. So if he can't figure it out, I know my clients probably can't figure it out either. So I add myself or my husband, and I send a bunch of stuff to them, to myself and him. And if we can't figure it out, then I go in and I make sure I'm educating myself, because I know my people are going to have a question. April, I believe what you want to use for that website is actually not the single listing website. It's the details page. But I would go in and test it. So if I go in and I go to listings, oops, that's the wrong button. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to listings. I'm going to say, hey, I want to actually see this page. And I want to make sure that the web is going to mine. So see how my contact now shows here? So it is going to the right page. So, William, that's a question for your office admin. So if you have a company set up email campaign that's not going out, they have to turn them on. I'm guessing you are probably an office admin, so I'm just going to go ahead and go in. I'm going to go to my campaigns, and I can go, hey, I'm going to actually say I want to deactivate the campaign, and you activate it the same way. But the company has to activate a company campaign. Great questions, guys. The other thing that might be happening with that, William, do you go by William or by Bill? The other thing that might be happening is if they have, oh, perfect, Bill. That's so much easier. So, Bill, the other thing that might be happening is your send on date. You might have them all be send on dates, and all the dates might be past. So you might actually have to go into the event and say, hey, I want to send it on an interval instead of a date, because if all the dates are in the past, Bill, that content's not going to go out. Other questions for everyone? right, if there are no other questions, I'm going to hang out for like 5 minutes, make sure that there are no other questions, but I do want to make sure that I'm answering them. So, there's a good question. That's a great question. So how long does it take to set up a listing with the complete service like you showed? The more you do this, the faster it gets. What I would say is I would create an action plan for myself. I am a list person. I need lists. I have a different notebook for all of my clients that I'm working with. And so I keep myself organized that way. And then I have a checklist of everything I need to do for a day. So when that happens, I know I need to go in and I just need to go in and check those lists. With this new email that goes out, Cassandra, it's going to be so much easier because you can literally just check some of these boxes by clicking in this email. So this is actually what it's going to look like. Let's see how big I can get it. And you're going to say like, okay, I want to view it, my listing. I want to share it on Facebook. I want to go in and I want to download my flyers, or I want to customize them, and I want to order my postcards. I think that it's probably gonna take me, once a listing's live, after I've done a listing presentation, after my paperwork's done, I'm gonna say probably 15 or 20 minutes. But I am fairly fluent in the system, so it might take you a little bit longer as you start. But I think spending 15 to 20 minutes getting all those check boxes done is a reasonable amount of time once you know what's going on. Yes, it automatically ends when the listing closes and is done. Let's see. I've got a lot more questions all of a sudden. Let's see. Bill, I'm going to answer your question. I know what you're talking about. What I'm talking about and what you're talking about are different. Once information is on a website, is there a way to remove it? Harriet, everything is updating from MLS. So if you change your description on MLS, and that, it will automatically update to the website. On Facebook and social media, you're going to have to go in and take that post down. But if you post a listing on your Facebook with a link, I have no idea what my crazy friends are doing right now, so I'm going to jump into my personal Facebook just really quick and go to a company page. That's a group. Hang on, I want to find a page. So I can actually go in and I'm going to see what is happening here. So if you're sharing a link, so like, see how this is a link? The information will automatically update if the link is what's being shown. If you're posting pictures like this, you're going to have to go in and actually manually update your social media. Mary, I am very excited about that email as well. I'm super, super excited about that email, in fact. And then I'm glad you guys like my attitude on technology. I really try to take my time in doing this. I also want to make sure I'm answering one other question here really quick. Bill asked a question. So Bill, the question you're asking is not about e-campaigns. It was about listing action plans. So if I go in and I have connected an action plan to a listing, I can go in and delete that action plan. Bear with me here while I act as someone so that I can show you what that looks like. So I can go in and I can say, hey, here's that listing we were looking at. And this actions, I can add an action plan, and if I add it, it shows everything. I have to go back. There's everything. And then I can delete it. And once I delete that action plan, it's still going to show actions that have already been completed. I can actually check those and delete them if I would like. But I can see here that there are no action plans assigned. Bill, did that answer your question better? I'm watching for your answer. So Carl asked, do I have a favorite template for landing pages? So what Carl is talking about is when I start to go in and build my own page for a community. So I go in here and I'm creating a page and I'm using one of these templates. Anything that underneath dynamic, by the way, dynamic means it automatically updates. That means that once I put the information in there, it automatically updates. So Carl, I really like these first two, partly because I've used them more. This new areas template 2, I think is pretty cool. I'm just going to put some information in here so I can show you. I'm not going to go into all this detail. We'll do this on another day. Oh, come on. They're clearly doing some work on my demo site right now. And so we're just going to keep rolling with it. We're going to roll with the punches today. So I'm going to go in and go pages. And I'm going to add a new page. And I'm going to choose this one. And here's my page. So I can then go in and edit the page. And the nice thing about this is I like that it has a lot of information, but really at the top, it's really focused on listings being first. To edit this information, I just click edit and I can add an area. So I can say, I want the community, the terraces at Coeur d'Alene. Do I want only my properties or company listings first? How do I want to order them, low to high? And I'm going to say I want them new within 15 days. No, let's do 7 days. That's more fun. So I can actually go in and set all these filters, hit the green save button, and it's going to populate with listings that fit into that category, which clearly right now there are none in our area. So I do want to take just a quick minute and tell you about a couple tools that you guys have available to you. So on Facebook, we have a group if you're not a part of it. It's called Realistic Users, and it looks like this. So you can actually go in and you can request to join the group. We will approve you to be a member of our group. And there's a lot of training that happens on this page. I do a lot of it. We try to answer everybody's questions, and we try to do it via video. Also underneath the events is where you can find our upcoming events. So on Monday, we are doing an edit your website event. And so you'll be able to actually come and learn more about what I was showing you with that areas page. We also have a YouTube channel. And you can actually go in and search Realistic Support. And that is our page. So I'm actually going to go in. I'm going to say, hey, this is my channel. So if you scroll Realistic Support, we're adding videos every week to this channel so that you have a lot of information for you. But we welcome questions. We want you to participate. We want to help grow your business. And these are two of the tools that have availability. Also, coming in 2019, every Monday morning at, I want to say it's 8 a.m. Pacific time, we will be doing a webinar. So every Monday at 8 a.m., we're going to have a webinar. You're going to be getting an email on that shortly. So watch for that. All those trainings will also be posted in our Facebook page for you to use. But tell your fellow agents, join the group. We want to help you build your business and use the system smarter. It's called Realistic Support, Cassandra. So if you just type in realistic support, it will come up. And there's playlists in here, things like new agent start lists, I just want to know about contact management, marketing, how to, reporting, leads, new agent starting guide. So we really tried to make those playlists for you to be available to use. Carl, what I like to do for some things that said people sign up for access to one-time content is I ask them to personal message me. So Carl said, hey, what template do you like for sign up to access to exclusive content? I love the community websites. I think that's great information. But I ask people if they want more information, especially like exclusive information. I say, hey, just shoot me a personal message. I'd be happy to answer all your questions. The reason for that is this. We as agents are competing with the fact that everybody out there has access to a lot of information. And if we are protecting all of the information that we have on our website, they're going to go somewhere else to get it. I would much rather have a conversation with someone than say you have to sign up to get this. I would much rather say, hey, for more information, send me an email or a text, or on Facebook, like, hey, PM me if you want some more information. I think that it starts a conversation instead of making it exclusive and now I have to give out my information to get something that should really be free. There's a lot of different theories on that. That's just my personal opinion. I like to make it a conversation. Buying and selling a house is a really big deal, and it needs to be a real conversation. And Carl, you can make it so if agents in your office want it so that people have to register to see the properties on their site, you can do that. Reach out to the help desk and they can get that agent set up with a registration, forced registration to see properties or something like that. It is possible. I just don't know that it makes sense for actually getting information in a way that makes sense and is beneficial to the customer. I think that we live in a day and age where we have to stop looking at ourselves and we have to start really looking at the customer instead. It's not about me. So everybody, we're coming up on that 11 o'clock hour. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you? Just going to hang out. I know it sounds like dead air, but I want to make sure that everybody that's still on the call has good information. There's about 15 to 14 of you still on the call. So any questions at all, I am more than happy to answer them. I want to help you in what you're doing, and I am available for any and all questions. Oh, Bill, happy Christmas and Merry New Year to you too. We're excited. It's my daughter's first Christmas this year, so it's very, very exciting here. I don't know if all of you know this. I'm in North Idaho, so it started finally snowing. We have like 2 inches of snow on the ground. I got all my Christmas lights up last weekend, and we're super excited for Christmas this year. We're going to go over to Montana to see my dad for the New Year, so I hope all of you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday as well. We will have a webinar on Monday. That's the last one of the year. I also want you to just encourage you. I work all the time. So ask questions. We want to make sure you're using the software and it makes sense. Harriet, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. There's no question that is too silly to be answered. And I promise if you have the question, someone else has the question as well. And we want to make sure we're getting all the answers that you need. I will. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. You've been so great today. All right, so if nobody has any other questions and it looks like you're starting to do other work, which is awesome and I totally understand and respect, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar. It has to render. It'll take a couple hours to do that, but it will be posted on our Facebook and our YouTube channel There is a playlist on our YouTube channel that is webinars. So that's right here, webinars. So you can see all the webinars we've ever done. And it will go on the Facebook page. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you soon.